Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Also, below this video, you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy, and this is of particular note if you drive an electric vehicle. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Now we are joined by Neil, 10th Man, Brian's Logic, John, Refracted Curvature, Arwin, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Good morning.
Forgot to mention Elia.
Hey, good afternoon.
Afternoon, good to have you all. Happy days, one and all. We're going to rattle our way through housekeeping, so feel free to join in from Discord. Slate is clean, so to speak. Any evidence of a physical, geometric, sphere-edge horizon formerly known as the curve of the Earth?
Negative.
Is that it? Okay. Any
Well,
evidence?
there can't be.
Go ahead, Brian.
There can't be. There can't be. All the mathematics for the globe are based on a flat plane. They're all based on elevation angles to Polaris. So there can't be what you're asking for.
But is there any evidence you can have an elevation angle acquisition from a curved adjacent, i.e. sphere Earth?
No, absolutely impossible. Has to have a horizontal baseline.
I'm not hearing any objections. Shocking. Any evidence of axial rotation?
Do I get a chance to object?
Of course, that's the point of it.
Oh, you get your chance. You'll get your chance. You just wait. There are charges brought against you. You just chill out.
Yeah, I see them posted.
Looks like we'll get to that later then. I was more than happy for you to answer any of the housekeeping questions. But obviously, there's charges and I haven't levied them. QE has, so, you know. I stand under him in this regard.
Let's just bypass this. Let's get to the charges because I feel like I need a shower already, right? So
Okay. Let me preface what QE's about to do. So we've got a guest who wanted to show us how we could have curved adjacents, etc., etc. And before we've even got anywhere, we've had lies in the pre-show. Now, as a result of that, I've had to produce evidence that I had privy to. So I've basically completely undermined QE. Hopefully you won't tell me off afterwards. But with that being said, the audience is now in the know. Go ahead, QE.
Your Honor, I'm going to have to garnish you your wages.
I know, I'm sorry.
So listen up. It's going to be me. I'm the prosecutor. Protothad, you're the defendant. So no one should be talking except me and you and the judge. That's the distinguished Nathan Oakley, his worshipfulness. So, we got two charges against you. They will be evidenced by exhibits 1 and 2, respectively. Charge number 1, mathematical fraud. And charge number 2, Dunning-Kruger double-speaking dipshit fraud. Your Honor, could you please post to the jury exhibit 1?
Done.
So, Protothad, on 4 February, you said, but here is this thing. We don't actually use a triangle or do triangulation when we do celestial nav the globe way. So there is no adjacent side, curved or otherwise. 4 days later, on February 8th, in the year of our Lord 2022, Brian and 10th Man keep saying it can work on both models and that the globe version was reverse engineered from the flat earth. but that doesn't actually work mathematically. The angles you get on flat Earth will never be the same as what you read from a curved surface. It is basic trigonometry. I got that highlighted, which seems to be a blind spot for them. Really, blind spot.
Okay, I agree with that.
I'm not done yet. Oh, you agree? There is no agree, disagree. This is what you wrote. So, can you please tell us how you can have trigonometry and not have any triangles for us, please?
That was my point.
Define trigonometry.
If you want to get the simple definition, it's the mathematics of triangles, of angles and triangles.
So, how the hell can you tell everyone it's basic trigonometry and on the other side of your face say we don't have any triangles?
That's the point. You're not using a triangle when you're doing celestial navigation. If you try and use trigonometry to determine your location, it doesn't work.
Oh my God, Judge! I
have a demonstration of that. If you want to post evidence, I have a picture I can post.
Judge, I got evidence right here, you numpty dipshit. You said we use basic trigonometry, right? But we don't have any triangles. Trigonometry is the study of triangles.
Right. If you try and apply trigonometry to celestial nav the way you do, it proves that it doesn't work.
Celestial nav the way you do using basic trigonometry and no triangles. So trigonometry is the study of triangles, right? Is this, I don't know, this sounds like something like, is this like a turkey without feathers? It's crystal clear.
Would you like to actually get into the? Would you like to get into the mathematics?
Interrupt me now, Your Honor. Objection. Can we please have the defendant explain how he's using trigonometry without triangles? It seems like he's suffering from Bob the pseudoscience fallacy fuckwit guy disease.
In that, I'm saying I was using trigonometry to explore your interpretation and show that it doesn't work.
My interpretation. So you're using trigonometry without triangles, sir. Fraud.
No, I said I was using it. I was setting up your version of it with a triangle.
No, you aren't.
Showing that the angles do not represent what we see in reality. And that is what the second comment you're going to bring up, that is exactly what that is about.
Oh, yeah, don't you worry about that. We'll get to that, sir. We're sticking with this one right now.
And use a triangle, it doesn't work. And you're taking it out of context.
It's not out of context. Everyone can see it. What's the context?
The context that I was looking at it from the standpoint of the flat Earth and saying, let's try and use a triangle the way you guys say it is. Let's assume the Earth is flat.
No. I object, Your Honor. He's lying. That's not the context of your first post.
Not the first one. I'm looking at the second one.
We don't actually use a triangle when we do celestial nav the globe way. That's the context.
Absolutely correct.
You lying weasel.
Exactly right.
You're a weasel. You're finished. You're finished right here. I don't need to post the second charge, but I will.
Okay, that's good.
You're done. Charge number 2. Dunning-Kruger doublespeak dipshit fraud. Again, we're going to go with his first comment that we've seen previously. But here's the thing. This is from Protothad. But here's the thing. We don't actually use a triangle or do triangulation when we do celestial nav the globe way. That's the context. So there is no adjacent side curved or otherwise. Now, 2 months prior on 24/7, you left your fingers do the talking. But I caught you. Protothad, just 2 months ago, folks. No, I think we all agree the Earth is flat. And there is a 90-degree angle directly below the star forming the right triangle. What do you got to say for yourself? Oh, Your Honor, did you post
that was taking it from the standpoint of the flat Earth to evaluate if triangulation could work. If you kept reading on, you would find that in order for triangulation to work, you need to know the actual height of the star. which you don't have.
That
is the part you're trimming out. So the continuation of that is you don't actually, it doesn't actually work because you never actually have the height of the star. That is the part of the context that you were trimming out of that.
Objection, Your Honor. Red herring fallacy. Going to the height of the star, which is irrelevant to this. You said
we don't use a triangle because you need it for triangulation.
Objection! Don't fucking interrupt me, you lying sore rat! Everyone can see it. Listen, I'm not going to get upset. Everyone can see it on screen, Exhibit 1 and 2. There's no way out. Your Honor and the jury, my recommendation for sentencing, he should be hung by a fucking yard arm. Prosecution rests.
Okay. So if I can have my time now, I would like to post some evidence as well. Someone could actually put this up on screen. It's in the main chat.
All right. All right, should be in scope.
Why is he presenting evidence? He's already fucking guilty of fraud. Judge. Presenting evidence of what? He's a numpty dipshit.
So why don't we just talk this through then? If you,
why don't we just, you stumbling fucking weasel, you. Judge.
So you're saying that when I get an elevation angle, and then I subtract that from 90, I can get the base of my triangle by just multiplying it by 60 nautical miles per degree. That's how you guys say it works, right? And if I'm at a boat,
we don't say that. That's how it says it works in all celestial navigation.
Exactly, and I agree with that. So from what you're saying,
excuse me, you're building a straw man. We don't say that. That's what celestial navigation says.
Exactly. You get that right from the books. I agree on that. So I don't want to straw man your argument. So let me actually ask, make sure I get it correct.
Hello.
Yeah.
So we're all in agreement that that's not something we say flat earthers. That's how celestial navigation works.
Correct. I was getting to the part of what you say.
Stop. So, in order to perform celestial navigation, we will require a 90-degree angle below the star. That's what celestial navigation is, and that's how it's described. That's not what we're describing. That's what it is. So you can't do it on a curved surface. It requires a flat earth. Flat earth proven.
Okay, let's explore that. You say that you have to have a flat baseline.
No, that's how celestial navigation is done. We just established that.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did. We agreed that's how it's done.
No,
So that's not how celestial navigation is done. When we asked if that was how celestial navigation was done and if it was a straw man you were building or not, and you agreed that's how it's done, that's how the celestial navigation's performed. It's now not how it's been performed. What a shock that the man who immediately got caught out lying is now lying about the very thing he conceded 30 seconds ago.
How do we use a 90 degrees then if we don't have a flat horizontal baseline? How is that used? Because that is used all the time. That's how every circle of equal altitude is established, starting with a 90-degree angle. 2 90-degree angles, one at the observer, one at the GP of the sat.
Okay, so let's take this example I'm talking about.
Let's answer
You've got your elevation angle.
Let's answer the question you were asked. That's all that's important.
Okay, go ahead. What was it again?
How do we use 90 degrees without a horizontal baseline?
You are getting the horizontal to the celestial horizon, which is not the surface of the Earth. And you're using that only as a convenient way of getting the vertical, the zenith angle.
So the dip and height of void corrections don't exist then, is what you're saying?
The dip corrections absolutely exist. They exist because the Earth curves below the celestial horizon. You need to correct to get it horizontal because the Earth dips below.
Sorry, you have to correct to get it horizontal, to make it flat.
Right. because the Earth is not flat. That's why you're correct.
Sorry, you just said you have to correct it and make it horizontal. And now you're telling me that that correction you just described to make it horizontal isn't flat? Yeah, it is.
That horizontal.
Stutter for me. That's correct. You're making it horizontal. That would be flat.
Okay.
Yes, so you've corrected your dip that you think is a sphere dip correction to be flat then.
See, this is the point you get.
Sorry, so that would be a yes. You've corrected it flat.
We've had to make it flat because the.
That's right. We've had to make it flat. To do celestial navigation, it's got to be flat. And you, the globe-believing fundy, have just made it flat with this correction. So we're all in agreement it's got to be flat. You've just made it so. Correct?
The celestial horizon has to.
So that's a yes. We've made it flat. You have just made it flat. Yes is the response I'm looking for, an affirmation of what you just declared when you made your correction and corrected it flat. Yes? Laugh it up. That's right, it's flat. Earth's flat. That laugh is because you understand and I understand that your correction just made this maths possible, and possible because Earth's flat. That's how you corrected it, didn't you? Laugh again.
So Nathan.
So stutter about how you're not going to concede the thing you've just described, the correction to horizontal, making it flat. You still haven't said yes. You've just laughed.
I know
Because you're wrong. Because
I'm wrong. You were the one that corrected it to be horizontal. I'm wrong. I confirmed what you told us.
And you got it backwards.
So when you said you corrected it to horizontal, that was backwards, was it? We're actually correcting it to be curved, are we?
The Earth was flat.
Sorry, we're correcting it.
From the curvature
Sorry,
of the Earth
you're not
to get to a
listening.
flat
I got it backwards. I heard that. So I'm clarifying what you meant by that. We're actually correcting it to be curved like your sphere Earth you believe the ground is. We've corrected it curved, right? Or did we correct it flat?
We went to the flat.
Flat? So that's a yes then? Rather than I've got it backwards, we definitely did make Earth flat to do this.
The surface of the Earth. Is the
Made it
celestial
flat.
horizon the surface
We
of the
made it
Earth?
flat, right? Flat.
So because some.
So you're not going to concede it because it's too painful? You've made this correction. We've got Earth flat. We've got our 90 below the star. Your sphere Earth's been corrected flat.
Because it's on a flat table. Is that?
So we're talking about flat tables now rather than you conceding that you've made the entire world flat with your correction. You're just not conceding that, even though it's what you described and told me that I've got it backwards and we've clarified we're not making it curved to do this trig. We're making it flat.
Has anyone posted that?
Is anybody ignoring me completely? That'll be you. Yes, somebody's ignoring me completely. You've made Earth flat with this correction. You can't just seem to say, yes, that's right, I made Earth flat with this correction. Do you want to just confirm that's what you've done?
I went to the celestial horizon, which is flat.
You seem to be quivering in your voice. Do I scare you? Just still looking for the same affirmation of your correction you've just made. Flat, right?
The horizon mirror points to the visible horizon, not a celestial horizon. And dip and height.
And that's what you have to correct away from it. That's exactly it. The horizon mirror points at the visible horizon, which is below the celestial horizon. So you have to correct it, get horizontal.
It corrects the vertex. The dip and height of void correction corrects the vertex to the water, the surface of the water underneath the boat. The horizon mirror on the sextant points to the visible horizon. You create
geometric horizon, by the way.
You create a 90-degree right angle at the observer and a 90-degree right angle at the GP of the celestial body. You're talking completely utter rubbish.
That is correct.
What you're claiming, I know what you're claiming with your straight line off out in the middle of nowhere. You don't seem to realise that that won't work on your sphere because that straight line won't match the distances that it will cover across the surface of the sphere.
It actually does because I've graphed it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. What you're trying to do is create circles of equal altitude, right, which are 2D onto a sphere. You can't do that.
Yep, and I've done that. I've actually drawn it on an actual sphere.
Show the celestial horizon mirror on the sextant. Show it.
Why are you laughing?
That's why you do a correction.
Why are you
not
laughing?
doing the celestial horizon. That's why you do a correction.
Sorry, and we're correcting to the celestial horizon. That's something you're measuring with the sextant. That's the stop. Hello. The question you got was, that's if you're claiming to be corrected for what we are citing with the sextant. Then you laughed. Is that not correct?
You're not citing on the celestial horizon.
Oh.
You're citing on the visible horizon.
Well, that's a problem for your argument.
correct- you
Sorry, you
correct the
laughed.
celestial
Sorry, do
horizon.
you want to stop
That's why the
talking? Sorry, when your argument fails, doesn't mean that you need to babble incessantly through the devastating point being reiterated to you. That's a big problem for your argument then, isn't it? You understand? Or did you just want to laugh again? At your loss, that is. That's what you laughed at. You realised that you laughed because you lost?
If that makes you happy.
Me, you were the one laughing, Sunshine, at your own loss. So we're not citing the celestial horizon in the sextant then. That's not what we're correcting for when you made it flat. You also laughed.
You're correcting it to,
You
you're
are now
correcting it-
interrupted because you're detecting that I'm going to point out that the correction made it flat. You laughed at that too. Do you want to tell me that that makes me happy? It seems like you're projecting quite a lot of your own amusement at your own losses onto me. I didn't laugh when asked about the correction to flat that you made. You did. If it makes you happy correcting it to flat, we can carry on after the correction to be flat to get 90 degrees to do triangulation. Something you lied about in your opening gambit here. Needing that 90.
Okay, so triangulation.
No, okay. Again, you tried to tell me it was okay last time I summarised your lies about needing 90. And now we're correcting to make it flat so you can get 90, the one you lied about when you first got here. If it makes you happy to lie about needing 90 and then explaining how you correct Earth flat to get 90, maybe you can laugh for us again. If it makes you happy to laugh about your losses, which you do.
Okay,
So in order to acquire this 90 degree, we're going to need a flat plane. It's going to have to be flat to have this 90 degree angle below the star. Earth must be flat to do this. Now, if you want to disagree, we'd like to know how you acquire an elevation angle if the surface beneath your feet's curving away from you, because that won't give you 90 degree to the star. How do you acquire an elevation angle from a curved adjacent? Can you answer that, please?
You just said it. It doesn't give you 90 degrees. That's why we have a dip correction.
Correcting it flat.
The dip gives you
Exactly.
the
Because
It's
the Earth is
exactly what? Correcting it flat.
correct it. You keep saying it and like not realizing that you're making the exact point.
The Earth's flat, and any preconceived notions of sphericity will be corrected, because if they weren't, you wouldn't get 90 degree below the star. So in conclusion, Earth must be flat, and this globe believer must correct his fundy sphere belief flat in order for this to work.
You don't see the total contradiction in what you're saying there, Nathan, do you?
No, I see a right angle triangle presented by you with 90 degree being the only way to do the trig. And you've told me that you've made a correction from your fundy sphere belief, which isn't being cited in a sextant, to make it flat. That's what you told me.
Why would we have to make it flat if the Earth...
To do trig. To get 90 below the star.
Let's talk about
Let's establish that we've got a flat plane beneath our feet to do that. And if we haven't, you're going to make it so by correcting it to be so. We know, you told us. Why would we do that? To get around. To triangulate our position. That's why we do it. You just need a flat plane to do it.
Let's talk about that supposed triangulation that you're doing.
It's on your diagram that you posted.
Elevation.
Sorry, we're back to your straw man that this isn't how celestial navigation's done. It's just our claim. We already established that it's not our claim. It's just how it's done.
If it's no. You
No.
Excuse me.
Yes. That's definitely how it's done. We definitely do trig with right angled triangles to establish our position by way of triangulation. That is how it's done. This right angled diagram that you posted is a fairly reasonable description of measuring an angle to a celestial object and then getting 90 degrees below it. And what do you know? We have definitely in your diagram got a flat plane for this triangle. That's how it's done. Fact. Don't have to
If
like
it's
it.
done, then why doesn't the math work? I'm showing you.
Sorry, the math doesn't work. You think that trig and triangulation isn't working and they don't have sextants on aeroplanes just in case because it does work. You think it doesn't.
So you
think it doesn't work. They don't put these sextants on aeroplanes just as a backup because you think it doesn't work. Is that laugh again? If it makes you happy, you can laugh at your own loss. You've lost, fuckwit. That's right, they do definitely use sextants to figure out their location because it definitely does work, and it works with right-angled triangles off flat planes.
Not use right-angled triangles.
Well, why did you post one?
Because I'm showing your version of it. And
my version, or just celestial navigation straw man attempted for the third time? It's not my version. I've never done this, ever. Why would you presume that the very well documented process of celestial navigation is mine? It's not. This is just how it's done. Stop making it mine so you can try and attack it like it's wrong when it's being done the world over and they carry sextants on aeroplanes so they can achieve this method with flat planes. Obviously, they're using a bubble sextant on a plane because they can still get 90 if everything's flat and parallel to their position in the air. You couldn't do that if it wasn't flat either. But you're telling me it's my version and my version's wrong when it's definitely not. It's just celestial navigation. You already conceded it, but we know you're a lying pig, so you're going to strawman us that it's our version and it doesn't work when it definitely does.
Okay, so...
Okay. No, not okay. You seem to be positioning this celestial navigation method like it's mine and doesn't work when it isn't and it does.
The interpretation that it uses...
Interpretation? No, it's well documented. I haven't interpreted anything. Stutter for me, bitch. That's right. It's not mine. I haven't interpreted it. It's well documented. Even your own slide on screen now shows right-angled trig being done. That's a fact. It's not mine.
It's showing
not wrong.
It that it doesn't work. Take a hard look at that. It's showing that it doesn't work.
What, this right-angled trig on screen being the performance being done with a right-angled triangle, you say that doesn't work?
Okay, so if you have...
No, it just wouldn't work if you had a curved adjacent. If this line on the base of your diagram was curved, this wouldn't be a right-angled triangle anymore, and that's what it would be on a curved Earth. So your version of trig on a curved surface won't work because you can't have a curved adjacent to this triangle.
Should we talk through what's in this diagram? This is representing how you say it works.
No, this is just celestial navigation. Again, you've fourth attempt at a straw man that this is mine. What part of... I've never done this. I've never been out at sea and never even held a sextant. Why would you position this like it's mine for a fourth time?
But you know how it
Fourth
works.
time, right? It's mine, right? My method. I documented this, did I?
An elevation angle...
Sorry, straw man using asshole. That's your fourth attempt at pinning this on me like it's mine and wrong. It's a well-documented method called celestial navigation. It's not mine, it's not wrong.
And the documents...
And it's you stuttering around that fact that you've positioned that 4 times and failed all 4 times. Maybe an apology. This isn't Nathan Oakley's celestial navigation, and it isn't wrong. It's just celestial navigation. It definitely uses right-angled trig. Do you want to try it for a 5th time? Maybe laugh.
Okay, so if it...
Not okay. It's not mine. It's not wrong. Clear? Yeah, that means can you stop trying to burn that straw, man? You've done it 4 times.
60 nautical miles per degree, you are agreeing you're not using a right triangle.
Sorry, why am I agreeing? You debating with celestial navigation as a process now? That's not here. It's not going to be reified or pinned on me.
He never agreed to not use right triangles. He's saying that you're using right triangles. You're making stuff up as you go along. You're pathetic. This is pathetic.
I am showing... Okay, Brian, I respect the work that Brian, that you and 10th Man have put into reading this stuff. And so I would love to have you guys look at this diagram.
No, you don't, because you couldn't. How could you do that and come in and go on with the nonsense you're going on with? Let me ask you a question.
I can see that you're very enthusiastic about this process.
Let me ask you, this will break it right down. Sure. You know the initial angle you take? Is that a 90-degree right angle?
The initial, you mean the elevation angle, or which angle are you talking about?
The initial angle you take from the bow of a boat, is that a 90-degree right angle?
You're getting an elevation angle. So like in my example there, you might have one of 65 degrees. The initial angle you take, right, your horizon mirror goes to the visible horizon, and you then look at the star, right, that initial angle. Is that a 90-degree right angle? It's not.
Yeah, and what makes it a 90-degree right angle? How do we correct that to make that a 90-degree right angle?
You have to do your dip correction to get to the celestial horizon. That's the artificial flat plane that you have that is not the surface of the Earth.
The baseline of that right angle is underneath the bow of the boat. Underneath the boat along the surface of the water. Yes, you agree?
No, I wouldn't really say that.
That's what
You're above the water, so
that's what they do. How did they know? How do they get a co-altitude distance that becomes then an equal nautical mile distance? If you have 90 degrees underneath the 90 degree underneath the boat, right, and 90 degree at the GP of the celestial body,
your angle is your sight line in the zenith, and the sight line is from where you're viewing with the sextant. It's your eye line. That's so saying it's down below the boat wouldn't really be accurate.
Excuse me. The height of right corrects the vertex.
You're breaking up. Try that again, Brian. You broke up.
The surface of the water underneath the boat.
I don't actually agree with that. I say it's the sight line. The sight line is the bottom of your angle.
Whether you agree with it or not, that's what all of celestial navigation say. That's what they do. You have a 90-degree right angle underneath the observer on the surface of the water, and another one underneath the GP at the GP of the celestial body. And the baseline of that right angle, right, is between those two 90 degrees. So that's a baseline, whatever distance, whether it's hundreds, thousands of miles, that's a baseline that's horizontal.
It's your sight line. If you're drawing, depending on how you're drawing it, you might not get all the detail in there. But your sight line to the celestial horizon is the base of that angle when you're working out your elevation.
No, it isn't. We already covered this. Sight line to the celestial. You're not looking at the celestial horizon mirror. Didn't we already cover this?
Right. You're right, and that's why you.
So why are you saying that that's what we're doing when it isn't, and we've already covered it?
I get.
Yeah, shut up. You're just infuriating, you circle-jerking idiot.
Okay, so...
No, not okay. No, worthy of being told off, lying pig.
Justice. Let's talk about the right triangle. Since I knew we were going to get hung...
Yeah, I've already said he should have his tongue cut out in hell for being a liar. And yet here we are with him circle-jerking us around, claiming that you've got celestial horizon mirror and sextants, because that's what we're citing, because that's the line of sight that's straight now, right?
Do you agree that when you double the complementary angle, that you double the base of your triangle?
Can't get that angle off a curved surface. How'd you get the angle off a curved surface with refraction, sphere-shaped air? How'd you get that angle?
So you don't want to answer that question.
How do you get the angle that you've just asked me about? You've said we get an angle. You do not on a curved surface. You do not get an angle off a globe. No, you do not.
So it is impossible.
So when you ask me about an angle, I say welcome to flat Earth, because you're gonna need a flat plane for that angle. And when I ask you where you get it, you don't just tell me where you get it. You start asking me questions. No, you've asked me about an angle measurement. You're gonna need a flat plane to get that angle.
If I measure an angle between two...
Yeah, you're going to need a flat plane to do it. Let's not just talk about getting it and then move past it. You're going to need a flat plane for that angle. What part of that aren't you getting?
10th man has described to you how...
Sorry, 10th man's not going to save you. Earth is flat. The angle he's asking me about required a flat plane to measure. Fact. Got a response?
You don't need a flat plane to get
How do you measure an elevation angle with a curved adjacent? How do you measure an elevation angle with a curved baseline?
Okay, so you think there's a right triangle, so
we're not going to get an answer? Off a curved surface, he doesn't get an angle. He's lost. That angle required a flat plane. He's asking me about the angle. I ask him where he gets it, because he gets it from a flat plane. That's a fact.
You can get angles from the edge of curved surfaces.
Edge of curved surfaces? We debunked your tangent point horizon. Black Swan. You haven't got a tangent point horizon anymore to get that, I'm afraid. Didn't you know?
I understand.
Stutter for me. We don't have a tangent point anymore. We debunked that with the Black Swan. Were you unaware, or do I need to run you through the Black Swan?
So you don't want to actually look...
Sorry, you've just claimed we've got a tangent point to get a straight line from. I say no. Do you understand or don't you? No, you do not have a tangent point. Wrong. Do you need me to run you through the Black Swan? Third time I'm asking. Or not? Do you understand or don't you? You're stuttering for me and it's infuriating. Do you need me to explain why you don't have a tangent point as you have just claimed or not?
That would be a distraction from...
From the fact you've claimed you've got a tangent point? Yeah, you've just claimed you've got a tangent point. No, you don't. Do you need me to explain why you don't or not? Fourth time.
Do you agree?
No, I don't need you to ask me what I agree with. I need you, who's just claimed you've got a tangent point to get a straight line from, to explain whether or not you need that explaining to you. Do you understand that you do not have the tangent point you just claimed? Yes or no?
We have the tangent point.
No, you don't. If the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, then every distance to horizon measurement, that's your tangent point, could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's the physical tangent point distance. And the black swan image shows the horizon, that's your tangent point, beyond the physical limitations of an Earth with radius 3959 miles. Therefore, the horizon is not a tangent point. So, no, you don't have a tangent point to get your straight line. Back to my original question. Where do you think you're getting one? You're not. Cat got your tongue, lying pig.
I understand you don't want to talk about the right triangle.
The right triangle that you said we don't need at the beginning of this when you started lying about needing one.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, we're right, you're a liar. We also know you've just claimed a tangent point and are yet to concede that you don't have that tangent point you're about to launch into discussion about. I'd like you to concede.
I have the tangent point.
No, you don't. I just explained the black swan to you. Are you thick? Slow? Maybe weren't around for the last 2 years? Definitely haven't got a tangent point. That's your horizon.
So do you agree that if you double...
Sorry, you're going to ask me what I agree with? You haven't got a tangent.
What you're saying?
You haven't got a tangent. We debunked it. Black swan. If the Earth was a sphere, let's slow it down for him. He's dumb. Slow. Or wasn't around for the last 2 years. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius 3959 miles, then every distance to horizon measurement, that's your tangent point, can be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's your Earth curve maths to your tangent point. And the black swan image shows the horizon beyond the physical tangent point horizon limitations of an Earth sphere radius 3959. Therefore, the horizon is not a tangent point. Twice.
Okay, so you can ignore...
Okay, so you haven't got a tangent point.
I have a tangent point.
No, you don't. I've just debunked it twice. If it makes you happy, you can laugh about it.
So
if it makes you happy, if it makes you happy, you can laugh about your lack of tangent point. We've debunked it, mate. Do you need it a third time? Maybe just chant that you do have one, because it's in your maths. But not in physical reality, the horizon's not a tangent point. It's 3 times I've told you. You lost that one. Okay. Would you like to laugh if it makes you
Nathan,
happy?
You believe you have...
I don't believe anything. I know you haven't got a tangent point. That's not a belief. I've demonstrated it.
You've got
a stuttering problem when losing. You've definitely got a problem with stuttering when a flat earther teabags you. You don't have a tangent.
So you take that elevation.
So you haven't got a tangent. Where'd you get the straight line was my question. You claimed a tangent. You haven't got one. So where'd you get the straight line? You don't. So when you asked me about the angle measurement and I asked you where you got that straight line from a curved adjacent to do the triangulation and trig, you started launching into an explanation about a tangent point you haven't got. So, without his tangent point claim, which has been debunked by the black swan, he can't measure an angle on a sphere. All lines are always bent, including the line of sight. So no straight lines for this angle, my friend. You can't get one. You will require a flat baseline. That's your elevation angle. Earth's flat.
I don't think that Proto, I don't think you realise that the straight line that you're trying to create that will go off out into basically outer space, away from the surface of your sphere. I don't even think in what you're doing that you realize that that straight line will not match the arc that resides underneath it. You don't get that.
I've actually graphed it. I've actually, tell you what, why don't I could post another picture. If anyone wants to put it up,
leave me ask you a question.
Includes a graphing of the dip calculation.
Okay, leave me ask you a question about what I saw one of your posts from Discord, and it showed circles on a sphere, right? Now, on those circles, right, that you had on the sphere, they're circles of equal altitude, right?
Sure.
Those circles have a radius line, yes? You would agree?
If we don't actually use it, but yes,
well,
if you look at it as a plane going through the surface.
Size, yeah? But that's how you establish the size of a circle. That's how you establish the size of a circle. You need a radius, yes?
That is one way to establish a circle. You can also get it by intersecting a sphere.
How do you establish a diameter or a circumference without a radius?
Well, in this case, we're measuring over the curved surface of the Earth.
No,
that is another way of doing it.
Well, that's the problem.
How do you start?
That's the problem, isn't it, Brian? Because if you're measuring over a curved surface, the radius isn't a straight line anymore, is it?
But see, this is where I'm trying to get to, Nathan. This is what I'm trying to get to.
You can draw circles on the surface of a sphere.
Proto, the radius of those circles, are they straight lines?
The radius, if you want to talk about the actual flat entire circle,
the radius of those
radius is going to cut. It's going to be below the ground essentially. But that's not something we don't use. That is not the distance between your position and the GP. Because you're getting that by you're getting that distance by multiplying 60 nautical miles per degree.
Sorry, you're claiming a chord. You're claiming a chord through a circle, yes, or a sphere, as your radius.
That is what it would be. We don't actually use that distance, but if you really wanted to get it, that's what you would do.
Okay, a chord. So you're claiming a chord. Now you do realize that chord is going to be less in distance than the arc that resides above it. So that makes all your coordinates and all your triangulation is going to be completely out. You won't find where you think you're going to find. You won't find your location, and you won't know where you are.
You've touched on exactly the issue. You're right. The distance, that straight line distance, is different than the curved distance, and that touches on exactly the issue.
Well, it's different when it's
your problem. The issue is yours. Now, when we do it on a flat plane, we don't have that problem with the circle of equal altitude having a radius that's presupposed to be on a curved surface that doesn't match. We don't have that problem. That's your problem.
Claiming it's
60. What does 60 nautical miles per degree mean?
Yeah, 60. Yeah, that's a flat Earth measurement.
Yeah, you can't get that angle. That degree. That degree is an angle measurement. That's two straight lines.
That's an arc length.
Why? That's two straight lines.
That's an arc length. 60 nautical miles per degree can only give you a curved distance. It can only give you a curved distance.
Proto, the arc you said, an arc length. Arc of what? What's the arc?
Two straight lines.
It's the circumference of the Earth. It's the circumference of the Earth. Are you getting a partial circumference of the Earth?
No. That's total nonsense. You're saying we're getting a partial circumference of the Earth when we hold a angle measuring device on the surface. Total nonsense.
Arc he's claiming is in the sextant.
Read chapter 14.
Nothing to do with the surface of the Earth. He doesn't know what the arc is.
Read chapter 14 of that Navy training manual that 10th Man brought out. Chapter 14 explains it.
The sextant. The arc is in the sextant.
Yeah, it's the arc.
When they say
the arc over the top. If it was
the movement of the index arm through the arc within the tool, within the sextant. They're not talking about the ground being an arc or the sky being an arc.
Yeah.
The sextant is 1/6 of a circle.
You guys actually have touched on this with the whole idea of the light coming from the stars being parallel.
We didn't touch on it.
Therefore,
We went right through.
you can treat the angle as if it's from the center of the Earth.
Why would we
that's
do
why
that?
you can.
Why?
Do what you're claiming can't be done.
Stop, Brian.
All right, okay.
Why? Why would we assume the angle we've just taken from the surface is now at the centre of a spherical Earth with all light from stars coming in parallel? Why would we do that?
Because parallax effect. Parallax effect lets you do that, and then that lets you find the arc of that path between you and the GP over the surface of the Earth. That angle actually traces that out. That's what 60 nautical miles per degree means. And that can only give you...
engineering from a flat plane. That's back engineering from flat Earth elevation
But the
angles.
trigonometry doesn't work for that.
It's
Okay.
not. It's back.
And that's what
Stop. Okay, so this starts with an elevation angle measurement.
Right.
What's that?
Okay, so if you've got an elevation of 65 degrees.
That's not what I asked.
Let's
What's
talk
an
this through.
Stop. What is an elevation angle?
Patient with that,
It is
please.
the elevation of the star over the celestial horizon.
Negative. That is not the definition of the angle of elevation. We need a citation with angle of elevation, son, right now.
You can refer to it from the visible horizon, but then we correct it to the celestial
Incorrect.
horizon, and that is the number we use.
Stop.
Incorrect. That is not the angle of elevation.
We want you
We
to
need a
define-
citation.
Define angle of elevation.
Yeah.
What is it?
He'll be able to support that with something official, surely.
You've got the documents that say it.
Well, just let's
I've
hear
been
what
looking at the same
so
ones you
far,
have.
you've been twice
And we don't
wrong.
claim it.
Hello? You don't know what an elevation angle is. Do you want me to just summarize it? You're asking us now to go and do what we're asking you because you've defined it incorrectly. So I'm calling you out as not knowing, and we're saying because we think you're wrong or don't understand what an elevation angle is, we're giving you an opportunity to cite it. Don't just say, "Oh, you go, you've got the documents." No, we think you don't know what one is. So
We'll find it referred to as an elevation from the horizon or from the celestial horizon, depending on how detailed the
Negative.
document gets. But the
There is no
one we
celestial
use
horizon.
is from the
Elevation.
celestial horizon.
Stop.
It's from the horizontal.
Stop.
So they'll also
Hello?
say from the horizontal.
Hello? No. Do you know what a citation is? Don't just make up some shit on the spot. Do you know what a citation is?
We could go on a scavenger hunt right now, and then we have to sit and have some.
We don't need to.
No, you-
Let's just summarise that you do not know what an elevation angle is. You're a clown, and you don't know what one is.
Describe
So
what it
we
was.
won't be
So-
going on a. While we're saying this, I have 10 citations for what an elevation angle is in front of me. I don't need to scavenge anything. You, on the other hand, don't know what one is. Ignorant of what an elevation angle is.
Okay, so I've evidently been.
So why are you here? You don't know what you're talking about. We're talking about elevation angle measurements, and you don't know what one is. Why are you even here?
Okay, so you've got that
Not
elevation
okay.
angle.
Not
you
okay.
subtracted it from 90.
Not okay.
gotten
No,
25
we're dealing with a
degrees.
belligerent, ignorant prick. It's not okay. You're a prick. Belligerent and ignorant. You think you're going to plough on anyway? Mate, this discussion is based on elevation angles. That's what we're talking about. And you don't know what we're talking about. You don't know.
Okay,
so
and
you don't stop.
how do you
stop,
use that
stop
angle to
interrupting
get the
me, my
base of the
friend.
triangle?
Hello? What I'm doing is pointing out that you have no place in this discussion because you don't know what we're talking about. Yeah? Hello?
Okay, so if you
It's not okay.
if you know it so much better,
That's not
Describe to
okay.
me.
That's your opportunity to politely say, I'm sorry, I'm thick as shit and don't know anything about the discussion, even though you've wasted a prolonged period of time with us, literally not knowing the definition of the subject matter, in this instance, elevation angle. You don't know what that is. But you're saying okay when I'm basically telling you, you don't belong here, ignorant fool. Why don't you remove yourself from this clearly more advanced conversation than you can cope with? You don't belong here.
so Nathan, 60 nautical miles per degree.
So he
You
thinks
agree
it's time to babble on about what he thinks he doesn't know because Dunning-Kruger dictates that you're going to now tie up this conversation more. You don't know what we're talking about. You don't know what an elevation angle is.
Yep. You're a fraud. Like we proved
that,
at
and
the
yet
beginning
I've
of
been
this
able to
discussion.
fix my position. With
So what's an elevation angle? Let's
and
give them
something you guys have.
third time's a charm.
It
Citation.
is the angular elevation.
No, not make
above
it
the
up.
horizontal.
Stop.
It's the,
No,
it's the-
not
it's the elevation
third
above the
time to
horizontal.
bullshit your way around it by making stuff up. Third time.
It's the angular
Third time.
elevation
Hello?
above
No,
the
he's just going to
horizontal.
carry on with this belligerent. Yeah. Citation, please. Deaf, thick, stupid, ignorant, Dunning-Kruger.
I'm not going on a scout.
I'm not going to go on a wild goose chase. I am going to make it up for the third time in a row.
Look at the books I've already described.
I've got 10 citations in front of me. I don't need to do anything. You are thick and ignorant. We're giving you, the thick, ignorant one, an opportunity to prove that wrong by way of citation. You refuse and say you're not going to go on a scavenger hunt and then proceed to make up some crap on the spot for the 4th time.
So do you agree that if you double the complementary angle, it doubles the base of your triangle?
That angle required a flat Earth to measure. So the complementary angle measured off a flat plane.
That question.
Complementary angle that isn't using a tangent. This is where we got last time. Angle, flat Earth needed. Hello?
He doesn't know what an elevation angle is, Nathan, so he doesn't know where the nautical mile distances come from. He doesn't understand where the 60 nautical miles per degree comes from.
No.
He doesn't understand the elevation angle.
That's correct.
He doesn't understand
okay, let's discuss that then.
So he's going to interrupt you, Brian, and just talk straight through the middle of you while you point out that we can't progress the conversation because he doesn't know what he doesn't know. He wants to plough on anyway, but we're at a brick wall because we're dealing with a clown, a fraud, a pretender who doesn't understand what an elevation angle is.
I understand it just fine.
So, citation.
You seem
so
to
do you
have
want
a
to tell
problem
us
with what you do with it.
citation? I'm not going on a scavenger hunt. Go on, give it us again.
So,
Do you want to squeak out that you're not going to go and get one again? Squeak it
Go
out.
ahead and explain how you get the base of your triangle. I'd like
Want
to hear
us
this.
to explain?
Sorry, that doesn't explain how we get the base of the triangle you opened by saying we don't need that triangle.
Exactly.
So the one that proves you categorically a liar when you opened with the fact we don't need that triangle?
I brought up the triangle only.
That we don't need when you lied? So, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, to be a globe-believing, peddling wanker, you must lie non-stop from the moment you arrive in the presence of a flat earther. You will lie about needing a triangle. You will lie about needing it to have a right angle or 90 degrees. You'll lie and then later discuss the fact that you need triangles for triangulation ad nausea while simultaneously demonstrating admirably your lack of comprehension in regards to elevation angles. Sad.
Yeah, you'd have to know what an elevation angle is, first and foremost, before you could ever enter into this conversation. Because you were claiming things, you didn't know what the arc was. You thought the arc was an arc on the ground or an arc in the sky. You don't know what the arc is.
And that's what it is.
What they refer to.
No, it isn't. It's the arc through the protractor or sextant. The two lines, yeah? If you look at that on a scale, if you've got a protractor in front of you, that's got an arc. But the thing you're measuring is an angle. It's two straight lines. Now, when we point that out, you say, oh, yeah, but it goes to the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth. And the curve is the Earth, right? That's what you're claiming. No, it isn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so you look at that protractor.
What arc is.
What shape does that angle make?
What a circle of equal altitude is. You don't understand what you're making these ridiculous claims. You keep on talking about 60 nautical miles per degree, not understanding that what you're talking about is a back engineering of flat earth elevation angles. The very thing you don't seem to understand, or just won't, or you do understand and you won't cite them because it will show you to be incorrect.
Yep.
Elevation angles, the baseline of the elevation angle is a horizontal distance. And that goes directly from the observer, underneath the observer, to the GP of the star. That's how you know. When the angle is taken, you then know from the co-altitude distance, you then know that you can take those minutes of degree and turn them directly into nautical miles. You can't do that on a globe. It doesn't work on a spherical surface. Not only do you not have a horizontal baseline, but you have diverging zeniths. Why can't you understand this?
Converting an angle directly to a distance does not work on a right triangle. That's the point that we're trying to get to.
You can't get an angle.
When you say
you can't get an elevation angle.
That's the only way
He's
you
not
do
getting it.
He's
whistling past the graveyard, Brian. He's whistling past the graveyard. He's saying,
he won't.
He's saying, what happens with this angle that I make? Well, the angle he's measuring is an elevation angle. And the line along the bottom is straight and flat. Now, all he's doing is whistling past that and starting by talking about the angle he's already acquired from a flat plane.
Exactly.
As soon as you apply that angle,
That's why
That angle you got from a flat plane.
Elevation angle.
Yeah, that elevation angle measurement took a flat plane to acquire it.
it didn't.
Yeah, what's an elevation angle? You don't know.
Yeah,
I
you don't know.
understand
You
that
have to
you-
cite it.
No.
Don't understand that.
So he's going to stutter his way through telling us that no, that's not how it is. So we've talked about measuring an elevation angle. What is it? You're not going to go on a goose chase. That's what you said.
That
It's
means
the
that
end
you
of our
won't- you
time
won't-
discussing this with you. Brick wall, my friend.
Yeah, saying that you won't go, you're not going on a scavenger hunt means it translates
I've
directly
already
to English
described
as,
it, and you've
"I
got
am
plenty
not
of
willing to
definitions in
support
front
my
of you."
claim." It means I am not willing to support my claim. That's what that means. I've already shown you to be wrong with the arc, with the circle of equal altitude, with your chord line radius line for the circles, with the elevation angles. You've been shown to be wrong here, like since the show started. All that's going on here now is you're wasting our time and your own. That's what's going on here.
He's full of double
Okay, Brian, can I ask you one quick question, Brian?
No, you can't.
Brian, can I ask-
You've been double speaking the whole time. You've already admitted dip correction is to make the earth flat. You already said that.
I said it to
You
get to the
haven't
flat
cited
horizontal, not make
anything.
the earth flat.
You
You haven't
did.
cited anything.
I heard you.
So anyone can answer this. If you double the complementary angle, does it double the base of your
You don't
triangle?
even know what a 90 degree is. You don't
Sorry,
even know that 90 degree is essential for a right angle.
Sorry, the complementary angle was measured off a flat plane.
So no one's going to answer that.
So you're going to ignore the fact that you've just proved Earth's flat by measuring this angle. That's an elevation angle. The measurement that you took proved Earth is flat. Twice.
You're going to get hung up on that point, aren't you?
Don't get hung up on that angle measurement he's trying to make a claim with, proving Earth's flat. Don't get hung up on it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Was waiting for you to say.
Sorry, you're going to stutter around the fact that you've just proved Earth's flat with an elevation angle measurement you're asking us about? Or do you want to tell me not to get hung up on it again? Because that's an excellent rebuttal. Welcome to Flat Earth was what I replied with.
Apply that angle in a way that only works on a curved surface.
Sorry, you can't get an angle from a curved surface. That's the point. It's an elevation angle measurement from a flat baseline. Yeah, that's going to require a flat Earth to measure.
What is a right triangle? First things first, let's explain what a right triangle is. The definition is very simple and might even seem obvious for those who already know it. A right angle triangle is a triangle where one and only one of the angles is exactly 90 degrees. You lost.
The question is there a right triangle involved in finding the distance to the GP?
Yes.
Yes, you subtract.
Yes,
from 90.
definitely is. It's
There's
not
actually
us.
4 of them.
That's called celestial navigation. It's the thing you tried 4 times to pin on us as a straw man that doesn't work. Does it need 90? Oh, yeah, definitely does. It's very, very well documented.
But you're saying you get...
So, but I'm saying, no, celestial navigation well documented.
They don't say it's a right triangle.
Yeah, they
every
definitely do.
You do not claim it's a right triangle to find the distance to the GP.
Sorry, let's
That's
just hear
something
him
you
say
invented.
again. Let's just hear him lie to round out the live show.
The documents you've been looking at, I've looked at the same documents. They don't claim you're using a right triangle or triangulation.
For triangulation? You stupid fuckwit.
Clown.
Do you realise how fucking stupid that last statement was?
It's true.
Do
You're
you
not using
realise how
triangulation. You're
fucking
not using
stupid it is to say you don't need a right triangle for, quote, triangulation?
You're not doing...
Sorry, do you realise how stupid it is the question?
I'm on a navigation site now. It says, in simplified terms, when we take a sextant altitude of the sun, we're creating a right angle triangle with it to the Earth's surface at the GP and ourselves.
Clown.
Grade school geometry tells us that the two angles in the right angle triangle must equal 90 degrees. This
You're
guy.
a retard.
Guys, that's just not how that works. That is...
Excellent rebuttal. with that, I'm going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, smashed the PayPal link and all that good stuff. Also, below this video, you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. And this is of particular note if you drive an electric vehicle. Excuse me. I've been Nathan Oakley. Stay tuned if you're watching on either Premiering stream, and I will see you all in the next video. Shout out to Fibre Oats for hitting the super chat right at the end, just after the live stream finishes. Well, technically it hasn't, because we're still streaming this live for me to do this shout out, but there we go. Shout out to you, Fibre Oats, who says, thanks for the entertainment, the wonderment, it's beautiful. Also, shout out to Retro Bill, who also smashed the super chat just before the live stream ended. Thank you very much to all of you. Stay tuned if you're watching on a Premiering stream.